The Parade of the Thoroughbred Stallions, which will compete tomorrow for the award of the Croker Cup, the prestigious and long-established championship for registered Thoroughbred Stallions, or approved Thoroughbred Stallions. The aim of the class, which will be held in this ring at about 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, is to showcase a selection of Thoroughbred Stallions which are approved for use of mares, on mares recorded in the Irish Horse Register, and stallions that are consequently available to breeders. It provides breeders with an opportunity to see some of the best Thoroughbred Stallions in the country and determine which, if any of them, might prove suitable for crossing with their own individual mare. And judging tomorrow will be based on conformation, bone, good limbs, good fluid movement, temperament and presence. The Thoroughbred, of course, has been a great contributor to the production of successful Irish sport horses over the years. It's the foundation which has provided performance in all the sport horse stud books throughout the world, and the backbreeding of many continental stud books reads like a who's who of Irish thoroughbreds, with Lady Killer, Cottage Sun, Furioso and Orange Peel, to name but a few. In traditional Irish breeding, it's the thoroughbred that provides the elastic paces, courage, stamina,
Hi, Benny.
and that je ne sais quoi, or look at
We're
me factor.
just up
And the success
directly
of
opposite the
Irish stud book in eventing, the Irish Horse
under the
Register,
plaque.
where it has held the number one position for the last 12 years in succession, is primarily due to the input of thoroughbred genes. That is not to say that other breeds, such as our own registered Irish Draft, some of the more notable warm blood stallions, and of course our more modern Irish sport horse stallions, don't themselves have a role to play and a major contribution to make, but it is the thoroughbred which has traditionally been the foundation of the crossing to produce successful Irish sport horses.
Elegantly designed study desk finished in Danish oil. Royal Dutch Society Award of Excellence Reserve going to Seamus Cassidy. He also won the Irish Woodturners Guild Award.
It's interesting to note that the annual coverings of Irish sport horse mares for the stud season 2007 to 2008 were comprised of 10,794 mares being covered, resulting in 7,633 foals registered in 2008. That gives a live foal percentage of about 73 or 74%. And the number of foals registered has grown and produced has grown in a linear fashion over the last number of years, although now with the current recession maybe that will change, at least for a few years. Interesting as well is the fact that the number of coverings by thoroughbred sires has declined from a high of about 50% some 25 years ago to a current situation where 15% of the Irish sport horse mares are covered by thoroughbred stallions.
Stop it.
So that gives a bit of a background to the general thinking behind the policy of horse breeding and the use of thoroughbred stallions in this country on sport horse mares. We'll move on now and let you see the 7 competitors for the Croker Cup, which are here in the ring this afternoon, and as I say, will be judged at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in this same ring. If you turn to page 122 in your catalogue at class 44, you will see the stallions, class 48, I'm sorry, you will see the stallions listed there.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
The first horse we see this afternoon will be catalogue number 357. This is Powerblade, an Irish bred horse by Fine Blade out of First Field by Forties Field. He's owned and was bred by Paddy Byrne from Kilmore in County Wexford, of the Ballygrangan stud outside Kilmore in County Wexford. Powerblade show jumped himself successfully, going to grade D level and winning about 48, just under 50 show jumping association points. Lunge can also vouch for his athleticism and his ability in that regard. He's sired some very successful horses already, including Wexford, a grade A show jumper performing in England and also around the continent. A successful eventer called West Wind's Apollo, a horse called Springfield Rondo, which won the All-Ireland Yearling and 2-year-old championships. Springfield Cresto, which won several major showing classes, including the Limerick Lady, the coveted Limerick Lady Championship at Limerick Show. And Chantry Clover Girl, 3-year-old supreme in-hand champion at the Royal Show in England in 2007. And numerous other stock have been winning in the show ring and competing through the ranks in eventing and show jumping in Ireland and in England. He also has got the recently successful show horse in England, Hitman. So he's been successful since he retired to stud. He's 17 years of age. He stands 169 centimetres, or 16, just over 16 two hands, with a massive 23 centimetres of bone, which is a very good score or measurement of bone in a thoroughbred stallion. He stands at a fee of €500 for registered mares, and Powerblade was the champion thoroughbred stallion here at the RDS and the winner of the Croker Cup in 2005. That's number 357 in your catalogue. Powerblade and Paddy Byrne from Kilmore in County Wexford. Next we'll see number 358. Number 358 is Painter's Row. This is a bay horse, as you can see, foaled in 1992, so again a 17-year-old. He's owned by Raymond Cahalan from Castle Jane Stud outside Union Hall in County Cork. And he was bred by Ballymacall Stud, that most famous and most successful stud farm just outside Dunboyne in County Meath, which to date has produced just under 50 Group 1 winners. A marvellous achievement for any stud farm, let alone an Irish stud farm. And this horse is a product of the Ballymacall Stud. He's by the Breeders' Cup champion Royal Academy, who of course was trained by Vincent O'Brien and ridden by Lester Piggott in that memorable finale to the Breeders' Cup back in the year 1990. Painter's Row is out of a mare called Road to the Top, which was by the Derby winner Shirley Heights. So he's classically bred, as you would expect from a product of the Ballymacall nursery. He won 3 times out of 5 races in England, including a brace of Group 3 races, namely the Craven Stakes at Newmarket and the Horace Hill Group 3 at Newbury, and was ranked 112 by the Timeform Annual. So a high-class racehorse, winning 2 Group 3 races and being rated 112. He's just finished his 2nd season at stud in Ireland, and he's duly approved by the Irish Horse Board as an elite stallion, and also in the general approved section of the Horse Board Thoroughbred Stallion list. He came from Holland, and he was also approved on the continent by the KWPN stud book, that is the Dutch stud book, and in Germany by the Oldenburger, the Holstein, the Hanoverian, amongst others. He was champion thoroughbred stallion in Denmark in 2004, and he has many star-rated mares in Germany left after him. This was his first time in the RDS, and his first crop of foals in Ireland are now on the ground. That's number 358, Painter's Row.
10 nations. 359, unfortunately.